explain, this is a fund which is initiated in 2004 and is investing in Spain, Portugal and Italy in retail and in serious large shopping centers. And this fund is in a liquidation mode, and most of these investors want to recycle their capital because they have their exposure into these areas enough at this moment in time. The problem indeed is how do you liquidate in an illiquid market? And the interesting part is some of these shopping centers are holding up extremely well. That's the main part of what we always believe in, that location is very important, and it's number 1 and 2 and 3 on your list. That if you are the dominant shopping center in an area, you don't need a growing market to have a growing shopping center. The problem is that there is that cloud, which is still that European currency cloud, which is hanging over there, which is sort of you see a certain cycle in the belief of what will happen to these markets. As long as there's no clarity there, and as long as these markets, you don't really feel the effect yet of the austerity measures, because these measures are there for a long time, but the real effects are still to be seen because of elections, because of the tempo of these implementations. So at that same time, everybody is aware that these markets are, certain things hold a certain risk still at the moment, and that's something hard to overcome if you don't have a feeling of what kind of returns these things are going to provide you with. No matter what return requirement you have, if you don't have the vision on a certain security of return, it's very hard. So you see that most of these assets are extremely well, very well positioned. They're just located in the wrong market, you could say. And that counts for Spain and Portugal to a larger extent than to Italy. But still that's the case. So the interesting part is who would be the players in the market to buy certain assets. That's interesting. A core, like I said, a core investor is looking for the security of return at a certain amount of risk. The value add space is completely gone at the moment, and the opportunistic investors are a little bit there, but they're much more focusing on the depth of the banks, the portfolios of the banks, and really the cases where they wait until they get a very proper discount. So that space is obviously not filled, and I don't think it will happen in a very short time. That means it can be very interesting still, and I think there are very good returns to be made, but you have to have a vision on where the bottom is, and that nobody knows that, and what will happen with the currency going forward. And not many investors are willing to take that vision.